So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the part 6 of the Simplest Road to Crack GPAT series. And today we are going to discuss about the jurisprudence and quality assurance. And in today's video, we'll be covering what are the important. So, speaking about jurisprudence and QA, the most important thing is the dates you need to remember. Which act was implemented or forced into which year? If we speak 1919, it is the Poison Act. 1930, it's the Dangerous Drug Act. 1857 is the Opium Act. So the dates are to be mucked up very efficiently, and it's very important that you remember the dates, and it should be at the tip of your tongue. Next up, we have the certain regulatory bodies that can be either analytical, advisory, or technical, like the DTAB, which is the Drug Technical Advisory Board, DCC, the Drug Consultative Committee. So for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, they are appointed under 33C and 33D. And also, you need to remember certain schedules and certain sections under which the government analyst and the drug inspector are appointed. The most important thing with respect to PCI is the composition. Who are the nominated members, the number of elected members, the number of ex officio members, and where are the different laboratories like the CDL, Central Drug Laboratory, Kolkata, Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow, Indian Veterinary Research Institute, Izzat Nagar. So you need to remember the cities, states, everything very efficiently. Form numbers, there is a certain list of forms that you need to remember. Not every form is important. Like you need to remember form 20F, 20G, 20A, 20B, 21A, 21B, 8, 21, 44, 56. There are certain form numbers that are very efficient and very important to be remembered. Next up, we have is schedules. So schedules, you have schedules right from A up to Z. So schedules, only the statement is to be remembered. Like suppose if it's schedule C, so you need to know that it is for biological parenterals. If it's schedule D, so you need to know that it is for manufacturing, for import, exempted substances. If it's schedule X, so you need to know that it is narcotic and psychotropic substances. Speaking about QA, so you have ICH stability studies. So whenever we design or formulate any particular formulation, it has to be stable. If you see, you have crocin tablets, you have paracetamol suspension, it is stable. Now, what are the different guidelines for its stability testing? That are QSEM, which is quality, safety, efficacy, and multidisciplinary. So these guidelines are to be remembered, and you need to know that which Q1 stands for which statement, Q2 stands for which statement, analytical validation, etc. Next up we have is calibration and validation. So whenever we use any instrument like pH meter, so it needs to be calibrated. What do you mean by calibration? You need to you need to check whether it is free from errors. Is it that the results are accurate? Are the results having good precision? Are the results reproducible? So that is very important. Validation can be of three types: retrospective, prospective, and concurrent. Retrospective means going back to something and rectifying it or comparing it. Concurrent means while you are performing, you are validating. Prospective means future prospect. You consider the future errors, the future mishaps or hazards that could happen and validate the instrument or equipment accordingly. Next up are certain acts, and you need to remember certain terminologies from those acts. Like if we speak about the Drug and Magic Remedies Act, so what are talisman, what are kavach, what are mantras. Next you have is MTP, which is medical termination of pregnancy. So if we are terminating a pregnancy less than 12 weeks, we just need a one registered medical practitioner. If we are terminating a pregnancy between 12 to 20 weeks, we need two medical RMPs. And narcotic drugs. So what are narcotics? What is cocaine? The percentage of cocaine, 0.1%. What is morphine? The purpose of the source of morphine, the percentage of morphine. So that is important. Also, if we go to see Medical and Toilet Preparation Act. So what are bonded laboratories? What are non-bonded laboratories? Bonded means those laboratories for which the excise duty is not paid. That which is also called as ad valorem. And in non-bonded means for which the excise duties are being paid. You would have heard there are different taxes like VAT tax, which is value added tax, GST tax, there is a customs act, there is so many different acts. So similarly, excise duty is a particular amount that you need to pay for a more concentration of alcohol to be imported or exported. Next up we have is the Pharmacy Act 1948 and NPPA, which is National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority. So it is governed by the Essential Commodities Act, and it is encompassing DPCO. That is, if we are introducing a new formulation in the market, so what will be the prices to avoid exploitation of the customers, of the patients? The prices are need to be very affordable, and they need to be according to the drugs. Like, suppose, what are the market cost, what is the conversion cost, what is the packaging cost, what is the material cost. So there is the one formula. You need to know the formula of the selling price, or you need to know that particular formula for maximum allowable post marketing expenses. We call it as MAPE. It is acronymized as MAPE. Next up we have is the NABL ISO. So it is a certification. If you would have seen on the various Lays, Cheetos, junk food packets, any food materials, it is FSSAI approved, which is Food Safety and Administration, and which is ISO, which is International Organization for Standardization. So ISO has two series when we speak about pharmacy, that is 9000 and 14000. 14000 is for environment safety and 9000 is for quality system. NABL is a National Accreditation Board for Laboratories. We also have NABH, which is National Accreditation Board for Hospitals. So laboratories, when we are performing diagnostic tests, so there are different laboratories that are used for reference material, testing materials. So these laboratories are to be accredited, whether the equipments, whether the environment, whether the surroundings, whether the building, whether the different kinds of walls, ceilings, or is all the miscellaneous substances are fine or not, are they providing a good environment for manufacturing or for testing. Next up is the concept of GLP and TQM. GLP is good laboratory practices. So whenever we are performing clinical trials on animals or we are handling animals, so we have to see to it that the animals are kept in a particular proper environment. The air condition is working, the feed is appropriate, there are no contaminated or risky animals besides it or in the nearby vicinity. TQM is total quality management. So TQM is a very important concept. So along with it comes the QBD, which is a quality by design, and we that is a very important concept. So whenever we think of formulating a new dosage form, the various parameters like temperature, pressure, PSI, temperature, pressure, humidity are to be taken into consideration. So TQM and QBD are very important for a product to be optimum. We have heard the terminologies of Six Sigma, the lean methodology. So in order to achieve that Six Sigma quality, we need to perform the QBD, and there are various different components of QBD like QTPP, CQA, CMA, CPP, CPM. So you need to just know the definition. That's suffice. Nothing beyond that would be asked in the examinations. And lastly, the thing that you need to study is the patent and the committees. So the patent is basically something that is IPR, intellectual property rights. It is granted for 20 years, and there are different exclusivity. For 180 days, for orphan drugs it's different. And the committees like the Chopra committee, the Bohr committee, the drug consultative and health committee, the Mudailar committee, the Hatti committee. So you need to know the function, synonym, and the person who was the chairman of that committee. That's it. That is enough. Speaking about the phases, so firstly you need to know all the dates and the composition. Then you need to know the schedules and the form numbers. From the QA part, you need to know the ICH, and then in the acts you can know the different terminologies and definitions, because those definitions are asked. So that's all for today's video. I hope you all did enjoy, and if you have any queries or doubts, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching the video.